Desperately sick prison inmates serving lengthy sentences are a draining expense on the state, a security risk in the facilities where they are housed, and often very little dangerous to society. Recently, the state Senate passed Senate Bill 320, a smart on crime measure that securely expands the state's medical parole process without great risk to public safety. Senator Jessica Garvin, the bill's Republican author, points out that the state prison system is at 107% of capacity, and some of the most expensive inmates to hold are the sickest ones. Those inmates are little risk to society, but a high risk inside prisons. The state's current compassionate release rules have been interpreted to include only those near death or dying, leaving a large population of individuals with chronic debilitating illnesses who are no longer a threat to public safety. DOC records indicate the state granted medical parole to only 12 people last year. Gavin's proposal doesn't throw open the prison doors. After working with law enforcement, prosecutors, judges, and prison officials, she has proposed a modest easing of standards. If the prison medical provider, the DOC director, and department medical director all agree an inmate is medically frail, the DOC director can send the case to the state parole board for consideration. Some of the diseases specified by the legislation are dementia, Alzheimer's disease, HIV, AIDS, cancer, cardiovascular disease, chronic lung disease, diabetes, hepatitis C, and seizure disorders. Also, inmates who require feeding tubes or colostomy bags. During statewide medical emergencies declared by the governor, medically vulnerable inmates could also be considered for medical parole. One of the hard lessons of the pandemic has been that prisons can be breeding grounds for potentially deadly infectious diseases. The state has a moral obligation to get low-risk, nonviolent inmates out of such settings. Medical paroles could be revoked if inmates prove an increased risk to the public. The Gavin bill is a sensible, money-saving, and compassionate way to reduce the state's prison population by releasing people who are very expensive to keep and low risk to release, which means there will be more space and resources available to hold the most dangerous inmates.